I waited. I knew he was going to do it. I knew he was going to try to whisper again. We're not doing this whispering thing again. Man, and we got guests on this time.
Come on, man. This is my sister. She knows me. She's literally in the basement. Like, come on.
Embarrass ourselves in front of her, though.
I was gonna say, you ain't gotta tell my whole business out here. They don't need to know all that.
Oh,
right. I mean, she's in her own apartment.
You know what I'm saying? They could have been like, oh, she's in a remote location. Wow, they have connections with this Black foodie from somewhere. I could be famous. Y'all don't know.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Right.
Mad that y'all got on separate Zooms. I'm like, we're not gonna do this together. Basically. Like I said, Black people always separate but equal. You know,
always.
Bro, I told you, we've had meetings where my dad was downstairs, I was up here, and we were just laughing to each other.
Like, look, that's what we are as a society now.
Basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, basically.
For those who are watching this and don't know what this is a community coalition show. What's up, y'all? We got
what's good, gang.
And actually, we do have a very special guest.
Absolutely.
And
my sister.
Yep. And I don't do introductions.
Big sister.
So why don't you introduce yourself, big sister?
Please.
If not, I'm going to call you like the whole show. But what's going on?
Cool. Hey y'all. My name is Grace. I run a food blog that covers DC, Black-owned DC specifically, so Chocolate City, all things. I am Nigerian by origin. That is my origin story. But the Bay raised me, so I got my hella black shirt on because you know how we do on the West Side. You got what I mean? Know what I'm saying? Okay, so 0-5, Best Coast. Y'all already know what it is. So
y'all know the vibes, man.
I'm just here blessing the East Coast with a little bit of West Coast vibe. That's it.
Right.
Ain't nothing.
I feel it. I appreciate you. Thank you. Oh my goodness. I could go into backstory all day with Grace. Grace is one of my most favorite people on the planet. David, I love you. But
no, I feel you. I totally feel you.
I think I've told this story too. I might have even told this on the Community Coalition show. But years ago, like 5 years ago,
we old.
B&B magazine. And till this day and forever, I will always give you grace for giving me the confidence to start that magazine.
What?
I tell the story all the time. I give you credit for that.
Right. You do.
The reality is, so without Grace, there is no B&B magazine. There is no Community Coalition show, really, because these things respond from that. So Grace is kind of like the mother of all this stuff.
So you want to make me cry 2 minutes in? Cool. No, cool. It's good. Like I'm gonna get misty.
Shed tears. It would be great for the podcast.
It's okay to cry. That was our podcast like 2 weeks ago.
My goodness, like already tears.
But I give you a lot.
We're trying to get vulnerable.
And love, because it makes me emotional too, because I've always appreciated that, and so I've always valued not only just who you are as a person, because I love who you are as a person. I've always valued the things that you were doing, because I knew if you were doing something, I knew that it was real and it was something to be valued. You know,
absolutely.
When I heard about the blog, I pay attention. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, to have you here to do this, and I know we're about to have some fun, but this is one of the things. These things are special for me.
Thank you.
So first and foremost, I appreciate you. I love you for that.
Thank you.
Aw, look at him. Look at him.
Hey, David, don't hate,
Let me take these. Ooh, all right.
So also, and while you're crying,
okay.
This is going to be a different podcast today.
Oh, absolutely.
We're talking about food, and we're talking about this wonderful foodie blog. I'm eating. I don't know about y'all. We eat.
Also eating.
Absolutely.
Say less.
So
it's a requirement. It's in my contract.
Right.
Look, we here.
We're gonna eat while we talk. because I just don't care. So
I'm gonna try not to smack. While y'all be like, you so
Oh, this is great.
Brownie is.
I wasn't expecting that. Yo, was that brown sugar?
I know. You taste.
You know what's giving me
It's giving me Cajun vibes.
Yeah. So, let's start off because, like I said, before we get into that, we have some amazing dishes from some amazing Black restaurants and just cooks and chefs and people who are just doing their thing. So, let's start off. Grace, what are you eating?
I am eating a brisket sandwich. I picked it up yesterday from Smoke Made Eats DC. Is there at
gang.
And they make Texas style barbecue. So I got a brisket sandwich among like so many other things. It's on the blog right now. Like literally my whole story from yesterday was just.
Yo, you should have.
It's a lot and it's good. It's all so good.
It just look amazing.
Y'all should have seen when she came in and when like my parents like our parents they like saw all the food and they're like they gave you all of this for free. Like
they did not. I pre-ordered. I paid for this, but it's worth it.
Okay.
But we cool.
Hey, it tastes like you paid for it.
We're cool, but we support the Black-owned businesses. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
absolutely.
We must
throw them some money. Got to.
Oh, absolutely.
David, what you eating over there? You eating something the same? I know you probably got something the same. What you got?
I got the brisket sandwich too.
Okay, bet. So y'all got barbecue. I'm gonna have to get some barbecue later.
It's the weekend for it. You already know, Labor Day weekend, barbecue, grilling. It's the weekend for it.
I know. So I'm gonna be over there. I'm gonna come get some of that. Right?
Please, we have way too much.
Come through.
But
we have way too much.
I gotta shout out this amazing brownie. This brownie is life changing. First and foremost. I thought I was good. I had this brownie.
I love that you said life changing.
It is though.
Like my whole perspective on life has changed.
It is that good.
It is that good. Like I will fight somebody over this brownie. I'm glad I'm the only person in the house right now because if not, we was going to. Somebody might have got a body shot over brownie. I'm not playing.
You fighting the family for that brownie?
Look, what? Fight on sight. If I put brownie, it better still be that
sight.
If not, yeah, the whole house getting flipped over. That's how I feel about
it. You have daughters. That's what my thing is about this. Like your body.
They could get it too.
You said rated E for everybody.
They could get it too.
I might not beat them, right? But I'm definitely taking something away. There's gonna be some punishment.
Yeah, no, for real.
Or something like I'm shutting the internet down. I will shut off the internet. Ain't gonna be no videos. Like we gonna have a problem in here. This brownie, I'm telling you, like
I love it.
Them, right? And as I'm giving
my inspiration, man,
I still got to give you flowers for introducing me to this brownie. Okay, so again, that's another notch that I just like. I would have never had this amazing piece of food.
Literally my favorite thing to do, to be like, have you had this and this? Because
literally.
And you know what?
That is my sister.
I'm the dude, even if I have before, I'm going to play dumb like, no. What is it? I want to shout out. So this is from, is it Jaya or Jaya Can Cook? So I apologize if I'm butchering your name, but I'm going to post it. We're going to post all this stuff. We're going to make sure we blast it. I know
absolutely.
North Carolina. This brownie is amazing, like for real. So much.
Talk about it.
Talking about it, and I put with a little bit of ice cream, y'all.
Ooh.
And when we do it.
Yes, I went and got the good ice cream. I ain't gonna get the cheap stuff.
There you go. You know you got to.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You couldn't have this brownie, and I couldn't put some little dollar ice cream with it. No, I couldn't do that. So, So, all that to say, we over here eating. We having a good time, y'all.
We gotta.
I'm gonna eat. I don't know about y'all. I'm gonna grab. I don't care.
Oh no, I absolutely am eating.
So while I'm eating all this, but I want to go into the blog. Tell us about the blog. What's up with it?
What was your inspiration?
My inspiration. So I started back in October posting, but I had been thinking about it since the beginning of last year, I would say. So the beginning of 2019. When I moved to DC, one of the first things that everybody said was that it's Chocolate City. They're like, it's like fancy Black people. Like Black people are thriving out here. We got a university. We got government jobs. We got houses on houses on houses, you know? And so when I would walk around, I'm like, so where are all the Black people? Because they told me where they at though, you know? And I had come in, actually my very first job working in DC was for the Obama inauguration. So I had come in meeting DC natives who had been here generations, and they were talking about hand dancing and like what U Street used to be and woo woo and da da do. And I was like, okay, cool. Only to find out that was rare. And I didn't meet any others for so long. So that's why I was like, okay, so let me combine my love of food, my love of exploring, and just pick up like a fun little hobby so I can learn DC, find out where this chocolate city comes from, get some history, because I love African-American history, Black history, and DC has so much of it. And then just explore food and culture, because food brings people together. So I loved that aspect of it all, but then learning about DC culture from food places. And so the blog originally started as just like DC history and food, and it has really just become businesses and hospitality, home chefs, restaurants, dessert chefs, people who are doing pop-ups all over the place, trying stuff out. I'm a sucker. I'll try it. If I don't like it, it's fine, but I'm gonna try it once, because I'm definitely a well as opposed to a what if type of person. So I never want to be like, oh, what if I had it has gotten me into trouble. But I can never be like, oh, I didn't know what that was like. No, I knew I know exactly what it was like. And believe me when I say it's terrible. I don't love it. 0 out of 10. Do not recommend. Like, so yeah, so that's really that's my little origin story. I'm trying not to become a villain, but that's it.
It's like, oh, this ain't that good, but you know what? They Black owned, so, I'm a blast it.
Honestly, that is actually, so I've been talking to a couple of people. That's one of the hardest things about this is really wanting to highlight and to big up Black owned businesses. But they don't always, it's not always, sometimes, you feel me? Like, and it could be all different kinds of stuff. Sometimes it's the food, and sometimes it's just the service, sometimes it's the timing, sometimes it's the locations. It's a whole lot of, like, there are really amazing Black owned places in Waldorf. But in my head, and not being a Maryland resident, Waldorf is a fantasy. It is Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I don't know what happens over there, so I'm yet to go. But I've heard many of excellent Black-owned spot in Waldorf.
But for those who don't know, if you're outside of the DMV, Waldorf is like going to Wakanda. Like,
talk about it.
Literally, I mean, I'm in Silver Spring, on the other side of DMV. I might catch a flight to Waldorf. You know what I'm saying? I've been to Waldorf recently, and I felt like I had to get an oil change when I came back. Like, but we kid joke, but I mean, it's on the other side. But it is a bumping, thriving community now. So yeah, shout out to one.
Honestly, yeah, and I hear like there's so many Black-owned places, and I've never heard a bad review about any of them. So obviously, like, for the sake of the blog, I need to go. But believe me when I tell you, it's going to be a minute.
You might have to and then stay a couple days.
Might have to join her on that.
Trip to Waldorf.
Might have to come through.
You got to plan the whole trip. You got to get everything. Like, just hit a couple spots at a time.
Yeah. No shit, like Waldorf, though. Y'all are probably popping soon. Maybe I'll buy me a house or something. I don't know.
But you make an excellent point about Black-owned businesses, though. And I think this conversation, I know it's part of a deeper conversation that probably needs to be had. But
absolutely,
even as you're talking about just trying to review food, trying to link up with Black-owned businesses, like, and I don't, like I said, that's so much deeper issue. But even with the food, so like, what happens when you come across some bad food? Like, what does that look like when it's trash?
So something that I've learned over the years is what I like and what I don't like. So I actually started my like food review life on Yelp. So I was definitely the person that was on Yelp, like, cool, yeah, like I like this, I don't like this. This is great, this is awesome. And trying not to be the Yelp reviewer who's like, oh, the food was so spicy. You're at an Indian restaurant, bro. Yeah. What did you expect? Like, it's authentic Indian food. Like, of course, it's going to have spices, and some of them will be spicy. Like, what you want? So,
or the person that like is like, oh, my whole life I've been talking about I've been eating Indian food, but I've never had Indian food like this, and the surface was terrible, and all of this and all of that. Like, our little sister talks about how people like will go into their whole life story just to like trash somebody.
It's terrible. And so like kind of understanding a little bit about how just restaurants work in general, but also how some food is.
Yeah.
It then kind of helps me create, like, at least what I will always do is try to find the best things about it, especially because if I'm reviewing a Black-owned restaurant that might be like a hole in the wall or a pop-up, or they just started last week. Like, I want to honor them and give them the best type of pictures that I can take with what I know, talk about the best things that are there. If people ask me one-on-one, I will tell you. But as a post, I want to make sure that I'm highlighting the things that you did really, really well. Because I know that I'm not, especially post-June and the Black Lives Matter movement, I have so many more followers that aren't Black, who are just looking for somebody to review and to tell them what's good and what's not. But let's say I'm going to a Jamaican spot, I'm going to tell them, like, listen, this is what the paper might look like. If you hit somebody who is rude to you, you got a good one. If they tell you, me no have that, you probably had a right one. If you got there at 5 thinking you were gonna get some oxtail, you planned incorrectly because they probably have run out. Like, there were just certain things at certain places that you just know that that's just how the spot is. Yeah, and nobody complains in the same way when it comes to a Chinese restaurant with like 14-year-old faded menus on the top. If anything, you're like, oh, this place is legit. They got one chair, a 14-year-old at the cash register. Oh, this is it. This is
the chair's all messed up.
Listen, the food about to be fire. The linoleum is coming off the ground. You know this place is gonna be a bomb. You know what I mean? So like you have your levels of it, and there are some places that are really high end, like a Kith and Kin in DC, high end hotel, high end restaurant, nothing less than like $10-15 on the menu. You're gonna leave that place spending at least $200 if it's a group of people. Like, that's just how the place is. And then there are some places that you are cash only. It's run by Uncle Ray Ray. Yeah. You might have to like watch yourself as you walk to it, lock your car 3 times, but will the food be amazing? Yeah. You just gotta kind of know the environment, know the people, know the culture you're trying to get into, and then understand the food that you're gonna be able to like love, or your audience is going to love.
Right.
So what's up?
People are yelling, the food is fire.
Yeah. Depending on the place, yeah. Like, honestly, if I go to a Japanese restaurant and they're not like, come on, I'm like, this ain't it. Yeah. If it ain't tiny, if they didn't yell at me in Japanese when I walked in, I don't know.
Exactly.
I'm about to say I messed up.
My bad.
And I'm brownie log too, so
also.
I was curious about the process.
Love it.
Like, before you go to the spot, do you reach out to them like, "Hey, this is who I am. This is what I do," or do you show up like, "What's up, y'all?" Or just like,
"I'm here. I'm here."
I have learned that I should have definitely been telling people who I was. I've learned that just in the process of it all. Because originally what I was going to do was get like little business cards and be like, just Season Well was here and let them know. But I was really just reviewing stuff and just making relationships online. But I like, one of the things that's been hard about COVID happening is I like going to like the bar area, sitting and talking one-on-one with bartenders and people who know the restaurant and just getting to learn about it so that I can add that to the stories that I tell about the place. But I think moving forward, especially once we get out of COVID and trying to help draw people to restaurants a lot more, especially since they're suffering so much during the season, I probably will start telling people like, hey, I'm a food blogger, this is what I do. And so I'm picking up for this reason or that reason. But I'm going to be highlighting who you are and what you do. I just didn't want any issues, honestly. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah. Have you ever had any issues? Like people come and be like, oh, I know it was you, or like, you know, this conflict.
You're the reason that like this happened and this happened. Like
no, nothing. Honestly, nothing like that. Yeah, no.
Yeah, because you know how people are. With just with food, you know, some people are real sensitive about their food. You know,
Absolutely.
So I get that. You know,
we as blacks, blackity blacks, know that just from like house family get-togethers.
Right.
Well, who made the
who made the potato salad?
No, the auntie so-and-so came with a big smile and like, oh, if y'all want more, there's more in the woo. Don't good and well, you're never gonna have any of that.
Yep.
Yeah, so we for sure know that people can get very sensitive and protective about what they cook, what they make.
Yeah. So what about this whole like? I know you're doing this. Have you come across other Black food bloggers like in this area? And like, are there a lot of y'all?
So that's what started this originally, was also like, I just didn't see any of us. And I was like, are there, because even for the big publications, your Washington Post, your DCist, those type of things, it wasn't Black places that were even being highlighted, let alone Black writers or food bloggers.
Right.
So in doing this, I have met, I would say about like 20 in DC. Okay. So far, I am the only one who is Black only. So like Black owned only is all that I cover. I don't cover anything else. Right. But everybody else does. They cover all different types of things. They all have their different niches and all the things that they do. So it's cool to be able to be in a community like that. Again, especially after June, everybody's like, hey, do you know any Black people that can come to our event? Hey, do you know any Black people that want to try that? Like, so
networking.
Yes, networking, pandering is a little bit. It's definitely a little bit of each. But it's been an amazing season to get to see. Like one girl went like up 10,000 followers just because of her presence and just being like a Black writer who covers Black food in DC. So it's huge.
That's what, because I figure, imagine like, have you had businesses like request that you come out or does that happen sometimes where it's like, hey, we're trying to put our name out there. Would you just be willing to come out?
Yeah. Especially if the business knows how social media works. This is going to sound really awkward, so please excuse me.
Say what you gotta say.
No, because I don't want to like toot my own horn. So I've been doing social media marketing since 2011 for just different types of things, and so social media evolves. Yeah. So it's less about how many followers you have and more about the engagement that you have.
The engagement, yeah.
Yeah, and so explaining that to people is a little bit hard because they're like, well, but your numbers aren't where they should be. And then you're like, but I have 50% engagement. That means of a number that I have of people, not only are they talking back to me and liking what I'm doing, but they are now going to this person and saying like, oh, Just Season Well sent me and she said it was good. So this is what I want. I tend to work a lot more with a lot of smaller pop-ups, a lot of people who are maybe like chefing at home and sending out meal prep stuff, or private chefs and doing it that way. And for me, that's been really, really great. But I do get the people who are like, hey, we saw your page, we like this thing, can you come out? And so unfortunately, I miss out on a lot of opportunities because I'm Black only. So it goes back and forth.
Yeah. So how, I guess, from someone who's been here my whole life,
That's true. Please
That's
teach
true.
me. Teach me.
I mean, because we've seen, you know, and been around, DC has gone through a transformation, a huge transformation, you know, over the last 20 years at least.
Educators.
But also, I mean, it's no secret, you know, we've seen the gentrification and things like that, and I was on that side, so I kind of understand what happened and why and things like that. But in terms of like the restaurant market, we saw this huge boom. We saw this whole thing happen. But I guess like how many black-owned restaurants are there out there now? You know, because I know again, even somebody who we keep our ear to the ground, we still don't know a lot of them. You know, and there's some out there we didn't even know they were black-owned. So, how many have you encountered?
Quite a few. What I've found is that there are a lot of places that are cash only. A lot of places that are like, this is the bottom half of my house.
Yeah.
And then a lot of places that you're just not on social media, on the internet, none of those things. A lot more of those than there are otherwise.
Really? Are they like, the ones that aren't on social media? Do you find like, and I'm just gonna say, are they older,
are they better?
Like older generational?
Yeah. Oh, stuff? Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Second off, are they better?
Sometimes. Sometimes. So to answer the first question, yes, there are a lot of Black-owned places in DC, specifically Maryland and Virginia, because of just the like people left DC and they moved out, and then people who've had stuff in those two places. So there are Black-owned things. Again, at different ends of the financial spectrum, there are some really high-end spots. Like I said, Kith and Kin, Salamander Resort in Virginia are just high-end Black-owned places. And then you have your more like local mom and pop or just walk around the corner from your house type of bodega looking spot that is maybe a liquor store sandwich spot or a fried chicken spot or we cater for the mortuary down the street, but we also make food in between. Or like Daddy Grace's in DC, that is a church basement, but they make the best food. Their food is so good, but they're literally a church basement full of old women who make food like on a Sunday. So it really just varies. I would say that I wish more people knew about them. I just recently finished a season of Top Chef. And one of the people that they were reviewing, like one of the competition things was like, hey, there's this guy who used to go to like hole in the wall, immigrant owned places all over LA. So I want you guys to go to those places and then recreate their foods. Every single one of those places said nobody knew who you were. They thought we were like a dirty place or we were just in a strip mall, so it wasn't even that good or whatever and whatever. But because of this guy and his clout, because of who he was, and we never have space. Like we're always sold out. And I think about those types of places. Like sometimes it really is the dirty, dingy spot. Sometimes it's the place that does not believe in social media whatsoever because the government is out to get us. Like sometimes, sometimes in the
more
same
if
way,
you know. You know
what I mean? Like sometimes in the same way that Black men pick barbershops, people should just pick restaurants. Like, ooh, if he does not believe in a conspiracy theory that he heard on YouTube and is trying to also sell you his like homemade incense at the restaurant, you might not want to go. You know, like it's just one of those places where you just like the culture and the people themselves make the food just as good, if not better. They just don't believe in the internet's.
Right. Type of place that like will sell you essential oils after they give you a cut.
Yo, oh my goodness.
Yeah. But also they have the favoritism that when you see like, oh, I got 7 pieces of oxtail. Oh, they really like me here.
Yeah. We all know those spots like we go to. It's like we've seen the family. We know the family, and they ask how your people's is and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's sure. It's like I appreciate because we need to know where those places are.
Yeah. Right.
Especially
family oriented.
Yeah. One of my concerns is that, with COVID times and people not going out, we don't want these places to, go out of business.
Right.
Right. Like, so how is COVID and the pandemic, how has that changed what you're doing right now? Because I figure a lot of times you have to go to these places, or so how are you adjusting to that?
So I was literally sitting at brunch when the owner of one of the places that I love to go, she was like, "Hey, so you guys can stay if you want to because you've been here, but I just need to let you know that the Mayor Bowser, just sent out an email that told us that we have to close our bar. Every other table needs to be full. Moving forward, we can't have this many people in here. We're gonna have to move to this." Like, I literally was sitting at a restaurant when that news came in. Wow. So it has shifted so much of the service industry, because there's some people who this is their second job, second of 7 or second of whatever, and so they're lacking in income because of it. But also you have people who are just stuck with mortgages or payments for their buildings, for their whatever it is that they're trying to do, and they're just not making as much money. And you already know it's hard enough for Black people and real estate because of systematic on and on and on and on. Right. And so just them having a brick and mortar, them being able to thrive as they were pre-COVID, it has really come and hurt people. So one of our big pushes, and I love the restaurants that are allying with, are just saying like, hey, if you love this, go to this person. Or if you enjoyed this meal, we got it from this person, this person, this place. Tami in DC is a Burmese restaurant owned by a mother and a daughter, but they have a whole pantry of Black, Indigenous, people of color, like just a pantry full of spices, alcohols, foodstuffs, of just different people all over that are doing this thing. And one of the things that they partnered with was a farming co-op that is Black owned. And so they were giving out farm bags. And so you get a whole bag full of just vegetables and stuff. You pay maybe 4 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever it might be, and just say like, hey, I want this. And so they are just picking from different farmers of color all over and just putting that together for you. And so there are companies who are really helping one another to try to figure it out.
That sounds dope.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. It's hard. I know everybody's trying to do, like, they're still trying to work and curbside and trying to maybe have access to this stuff. Are you doing?
But I was gonna say, it's wild to think there are companies that you would have never thought would close that closed. Like Marvin is closed indefinitely. Ozio closed indefinitely. 18th Street Lounge closed indefinitely.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
Yeah.
None of those are Black owned, but that's if you were like, where are the Black people at? Like on a weekend, on a holiday weekend like this one, on any long weekend, on any weekend, Marvin Monday, like just the fact that these places have just like shut down, it's wild.
Yeah, it is, and I don't know, it's even moving around lately, like, and sticking to food, trying to find food. Like that's been the hard thing. Like when I want something different, and so I know people out there like. That's why I thought this show was important too, because like we need people to go to. We need people to tell us what's up. Who's still out there? Who's still eating food? Where they at? That's important now because you get somebody like me. I'm tired of the same stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I'm a okay cook. I can get by, I'm a survivalist. But every now and then I just might need a chicken wing.
Yeah.
Right.
Or some Black owned beef brisket.
Yeah.
So I think that's important. Are you doing reviews out the crib now? Are you just picking it up? You doing something?
Yeah, most of what I'm doing is a lot of pickup. So a lot of places, and then places that deliver are huge for me. Because I don't necessarily want to be out here mingling and mixing with people who think masks are just a cute idea. Optional. You know what I'm saying? So I do a lot of pickup. Love places who do delivery. Huge fan. And just trying my best to support the pop-up things that have been happening. So one of them, I don't know if you guys can see this.
Hey,
yeah. There you go.
I liked that one.
So this was this was a pop-up idea by the IPA Way and Hellbender. So Hellbender is a brewing company in DC. They are not Black owned, but they do have people of color working with them. And a Black guy is the one that helped put this together, designed the taste of it, and then he worked with somebody to create the design of it. So it's been a really cool thing to see people get creative and think outside of the box when it comes to what it is that they're trying to offer. But also, how do you get Black people to come to what we're doing? Because we got spending money. We got money. And so we want you.
This check's still out there, y'all.
You know what I mean? We like things too. So if you want our money, like talk to us and get us to where you are.
Right. Yeah. I saw those cans. I thought that was dope. Just like I said, there's creative ways, you know.
And I really liked that. I really liked that drink. And I'm not usually an IPA guy.
But it's a good though too. That's another thing too, like quality. You know.
Yes. Huge.
Yeah, I think because, like I say, even though we have dollars, it's putting it where we put it somewhere good, somewhere, you know.
Yeah, especially like you're saying, if you're like, I just want something different, or I just want to try something else that I would not know to try. Like having somebody who looks like you saying like, no, this is legit. They actually know how to season their food. Or if you're trying a Whole30 or a keto thing, or you're trying to juice a little bit, this is the places that you should consider.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're like, I don't really like hiking, but I do enjoy wine, this is the places that you could consider. I know because of Lovecraft County, people have been talking about sundown towns a lot. Sundown towns still exist, but there are also businesses that will not, it doesn't matter if your money is green, they will not be interested in you. So having Black people say like, hey, this is okay, these people are not okay. And I've been loving seeing that, especially in Baltimore, where they're like, don't go to this place. I know we always, I know all of us are over there all the time, but let me tell you, they don't love us. So don't stop going there.
That's important.
Yeah.
That is very important.
Baltimore, they were protesting out of there for a minute. Like, people told me now they say they were scared to like go home and they were being harassed and stuff. But like, no, that's real. And I think, and that's why I think this is important. This is very important. Not, like I said, not just for the food, but we need that knowledge. We need that.
Yeah.
And then going back to food again, I want somebody, and I hate to say this when it comes to Black food, sorry, but I'm more inclined to trust somebody that looks like me.
Absolutely.
And I think that's every culture.
That's important. That's important.
Details and intricacies to how food is prepared for each culture, right? So not just saying us, but every culture.
Right.
For someone to know that, because we know the insides, we know how it tastes, we know how it's supposed to be. So, again, I'm not going to trust Karen to give me a review on how the potato salad is supposed to be.
Right.
With raisins in it.
Yeah.
She didn't like it because they didn't have raisins.
No, for real. Right.
About to say.
Like,
yeah,
it's important. So, and then also, again, and not even just the food, but like it's so much to it, because even now as we venture out, every venture out we make is important.
It's so essential.
Right. So when I leave this house, I want to make sure I'm going somewhere. I want to make sure it's legit. My money's worth, because I don't want to waste a trip.
That's it. Right. That's really it.
And food, I'm gonna be hot.
Right.
Yeah,
time is valuable.
It is.
But also
life is valuable.
I was gonna say your life is valuable. It is unfortunate to think about it, but it's like the very fact that we are alive today in this moment says so much. Almost 200,000 people in the last 6 months have died. 600, almost 200,000 people. So it really is, every single time I go out and I'm getting food for my family, is it a safe environment? Is everybody being protected? And then is the money that I might not have a lot of being spent in a good way, you know? Right. So for me, I am absolutely with you, especially when it comes to like smaller places, because I know that I'm probably legitimately helping fund your kids like college tuition.
Right. That's real.
The lights may stay on today.
Right. One more day, because I chose you over like a Fridays or a Wendy's or a bigger chain, regardless of what those are. Not even that they're not good. It's just that I chose you over a massive corporation. Yeah.
Right.
All I need to know.
Support local business.
Is it legit? Yeah. But we say that all the time, but that's what I'm like, it's cool, and so that was to me like baseline support, but then it's like the next layer is how they treat you.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Like how can we hold them down? And so, even like this platform, that's why I wanted to show the food. I thought that was important.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, talk about it, but we can do more. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's why things are important. And I know people think of food sometimes as being trivial, but I'm like, there's people behind this.
And it's not trivial. Like, I mean, food by itself is like our lifeblood. We need food.
Yeah.
But when you take food and you're like, there's a story of a woman, I wish I could remember her name, but every single time Dr. King and his team would come into town, she wasn't a protester, she wasn't a sign maker, she wasn't any of those things, but she fed that team. And her food helped fuel that team to do what it is that they do. Like, food can really change conversations. It can change lives. And you think about the people that are involved, the people who provide the food, the people that provide the moving of food things, the people who provide all of the supplies and the things that you do. Like, there's so much in the ecosystem of just food that we see that's so essential. And every single time somebody like a place closes, I'm like, God, like, I can't imagine what that must be like for all of those people who are involved, their families that are involved, the people who were delivering food and they who are involved. Like, the ecosystem is massive. Food is not just the like thing that we just eat. It's that, and it's essential, but it also builds conversation. It builds community. It builds family. It builds trust. If I love your food, listen, like royalty back in the day used to have people who tested food because it's a trust issue. Like, I'm gonna eat your food. I trust you. You know what I mean? Like, you made this, I trust you. I trust you to not kill me. I trust you that it's going to be good. I trust you that you have put your love and soul into this thing. I trust you, if it's ethnic food, I trust you that you're showing me a part of your culture and that's a part of who you are through this dish.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's a lot more layered than just something to keep me alive.
Yeah, right. And that's good to know, because I don't think a lot of times, I know I don't think about that every time, you know? And that's why these conversations need to be had. But going back again, we're talking about food, like people, because we all know those people who can't cook. We know how we treat those people who can't cook. Like, we treat it differently. You'd be real, especially we treat them.
That's true. Yeah. That's me.
We treat them like step. We should, but it's frustrating.
Hey, yo, you might not want to touch that potato salad. Auntie, whatever made it.
Or you just ask. Like, you go, who made that, yo? Who? Oh, all right. Like, I used to, like, one of the funniest things, I used to work at a school, and I never put nobody on blast, but they would do potlucks. You know, like, once a month, each department would be responsible for the food. And our conversations were, we gotta get there early to make sure we figure out who cooked what. Because there's some people running around there like, nah, fam, nah. So like that was the big thing. If there was a potluck coming up Thursday night, we was texting on a group chat like, hey, who bringing what? Who? The master department? Nah, son. Nah. Now, what they bring? So we knew we were strategically playing. We knew.
No, and that's so serious. So, like, I used to work at a Black company. I won't put the name out there, but I used to work at a Black-owned company with mostly Black people, and we had potlucks. But I also would just make stuff just because I had excess whatever.
Right.
And there was like a type of warmth, a type of like pride, a type of just joy I carried when I would see my food gone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, at the potluck, my plate would be empty. I'd be like, you Blacks really rock with me. I appreciate you. Because that is how Black people will tell you, I don't like this. Yeah. It'll just be there. Nobody would have touched it. It'll look like you had just brought that plate. That's how you know whatever you made, it wasn't it.
Like I would equate that feeling with whenever you see like an older Black woman and she just see you and she say, hey baby, how you doing? Like that warmth that you get?
That warmth, or that warmth if you play basketball and you the last dude get picked up at the pickup game.
But you ball out?
Yeah, but you gotta ball out at that point. Because if you don't ball out, you never get picked up again. You're gonna be sitting there next like parents' potato salad. You're gonna be sitting still in it, ain't touched. Like,
right.
Yeah, there's certain.
That's real.
That is a big thing. You think about that, like, black people, like, because
we have so many unspoken rules.
Because you feel bad for like the black person that food isn't good, and they come back and their food is still sitting there. And they try to play it off like, everybody must have been full. Like, nah, babe, nah, sorry, we ain't mean to tell you.
Yeah, it's real.
It's serious.
It's real.
Like, there are pre-made wings that like our family usually gets, and my dad, like, I put them. I'm the one that fries them, and whenever my dad, he's like, "Hey, these are really good," and I'm just like that boost that you get from that. I didn't even make these wings. Like,
what we cooking?
I do a little saying,
little bit.
I'm trying to get the kid. She's
trying to get me hit.
Okay, all right. I ain't know.
You know what? If nothing else, he's gonna become an air fryer and slow cooker king. Like, if nothing else,
talk about it.
Too. I'm with that. The air fryer is my best friend.
I love it so much.
Yo, air fryers are they are the best thing.
No, they are literally second to pressure cookers. Woo! Listen,
talk about it.
I didn't forget that joint, man.
It really, for me, it is slow cooker, pressure cooker, air fryer.
Yeah.
It's that's it. That's how I know I'm old too, because I'm excited. One, I'm excited about all these things. Every time one goes on sale, I'm like, ooh.
That's real.
But two, I love just knowing that food will be quick during the week when I have all this other life stuff to do. Or even better with the slow cooker, the fact that I can drop it all in the morning and then come home from work and it's ready.
That's what like, you throw it in there and just, all right, I'll be back. Like, that's the greatest thing ever.
Like, the fact that I can use the air fryer, drop whatever I need to in there, leave for 20 minutes, come back, it's cooked.
Man, I just listen
for that. The fact that I'm not getting burned, like,
I just listen.
What?
I be all the way in the
basement. That's it. You just listen for the beep. That's it.
Oh, it's ready. All right, let me go ahead. Yeah, and then cleaning, because that's one thing about cooking for me. I hate doing dishes. I hate a big mess afterwards. I like defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like a whole bunch of stuff. I'm very simple. One tray, one plate. I'm good. One thing I gotta clean real quick. Like, I love that. I'm not that guy. It's just so frustrating.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
One thing I didn't do about the blog. So, like, you're going out to places. This isn't a cheap thing to do necessarily. Like, so what do you do to prepare for that? You got like a budget, or what does that look like financially?
That's an awesome question. I know for not just myself, but for most food bloggers specifically, we pay for our food. It's not like any other type of influencer where stuff is just given to you, especially because of the way that the restaurant world is in general. Maybe you can get like, hey, me and 7 of my friends are going to come. We promise to talk about it, show your food and all these things. And so they might give you like a prefix meal and set it at a certain price. In exchange for the coverage and all the things that you're gonna do for them as far as free advertising. But we do spend for the most part, we spend our own money. So for me, it's all about redirecting my finances. It was money I was going to spend anyway, either on groceries to cook the food or on me hanging out with friends and we're going out to eat. And so it's literally like, okay, so instead of going to this place, let's go to this Black owned spot. And so that's really, for me at least, that's how it's been working. It can get expensive, but most places, again, have something in your range. So you can figure out like, ooh, tonight we splurging, we're doing a big, everybody could get it. And then there's some days where you're like, can we not split the check evenly? Because I only was here for some water, and
I only got an appetizer, so I don't feel that.
That's all I got. That's it, you know, and then everything in between.
Okay, that's good to know too, because like, so I mean, that's love, that's passion,
right?
Like, are there? I mean, I guess when you get to the big time, have you come across people who like they're actually getting stuff for free, like consistently, or like I guess they're more well known, so people are like,
yes,
down.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I could definitely talk off record about. But there are one of the things that I've learned really quickly, again, because people don't understand social media so well, is that all they see is numbers and how many people are following you. So they think that that's what it means when it comes to who's going to now buy my product. It doesn't actually work that way. And
a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate for the businesses way more so, and then the small food bloggers, because you want to prove to people that my value is great, and so I will get you like a really great return if you trust me. But there aren't companies who have here. Yeah, but there aren't companies who necessarily have that type of money. Like if I'm going to give you something for free, that's going to be a big hit for me. So I need it to really be a good return on investment. So there are for sure page bloggers, all different kinds who get stuff for free of all kinds. They do a great job when it comes to representing the company. They'll do a great job in promoting it. They'll do a great job, probably even on return on investment. They just might not care about you or the people or whatever. So like it just really varies. It really, really varies. There are for sure people who get that. Some transparent and some not. That's also another thing. Some people who will tell you like, oh no, these things were free. And then some people who will just be like, I just thank you so much for this thing. And not telling you that what was $600 for you, regular human being, they got for free. That's not great.
Talk about it.
So okay, I'm trying to ask these questions so that like you're not alienating any place.
Yeah, I'm trying not to.
Okay. I'm not going to ask you your favorite places. What are some of your favorite dishes that you've had?
Oh, okay. We can go off a favorite place. One of my favorite places is DC Provost. Okay. They're new-ish. They're probably definitely under 2 years. So they're new-ish, and they were off Rhode Island Avenue. It's owned by a woman named Nina, and they're as close to farm to table as you can get food-wise. And then she talks about their chefs are really creative, so maybe like if you become a regular, you can try like variations on things and try out different foods, and their food is all so good. She's pretty close to getting to farm to table and Black owned with her bar area, but for sure, like everything that she makes and it's all just really, really good food. And then they have vegetarian and vegan options that are so good. Like even if you're not a person who's like, oh no, I'm never giving up meat, like definitely at that place try their vegetarian and vegan options because they're really, really good. And then my favorite chicken sandwich in the area comes from Roman Rooster. If you don't know it, where have you been? Like Blacks, get together, learn these things because it's really good. The honey hot with like butter on it, it is everything, and they're consistent. So I've had it from the Bladensburg location, which is their brick and mortar, and then one of their trucks at another event. So good, so good.
Right. Yo, the one place that like I've been thinking about nonstop since you've taken me, Milk and Honey.
Yeah.
Like I cannot stop thinking about that place.
Yeah. No, Milk and Honey, they're now in various locations all over. So I want to say that their customer service is different at every location, but their food is pretty decent. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I've had different experiences. Not bad, but it's different. Yeah,
that's just it. It's just different. And that's something that I've learned from. There's some good that comes in these corporate businesses. Speed is a huge thing. Like when companies are big, like McDonald's big, they're like, this is how fast you need to get this food out. You know what I mean? Like, this is the speed that we need things going. And so I feel like that lacks in mom and pop places, which is okay because, you know, maybe there's a little bit more love. Maybe they're like,
if the food is good, I'll wait.
No, sometimes it'd be like my auntie said I had to come into work today, so I'm here, but I don't love it.
Yeah.
You know, so they be alright. You know, so like all different,
I feel it.
different things. But yeah.
Feel it.
That's funny. Have you ever gone somewhere and just been like, nah, fam, can't do it? Like, I gotta get out.
Like walked in and like immediately like walked out?
Or something happened, you were just like, I can't do this.
Not yet at a Black-owned place.
Ooh.
Not yet. But I have, because I have a lot of patience and I have a lot of grace. So I'm probably the wrong person to ask this to. I have a lot of patience. I have waited an hour because they
I was laughing at the fact that you said grace.
No, I have a lot of patience and a lot of grace for places. So I'm just a lot more comfortable. But I feel like yesterday I went to go get ice cream. It's going to be on the blog a little bit later. They just didn't believe in haste, you know, like they were allergic to haste. And so that was one of the things I said, well, all right. Or sometimes it's just rude and you're like, for what? Like, it's not even that serious. But I don't think I've ever been anywhere where I'm like, ooh, nah. No, thank you. No, thank you.
An hour?
Yeah. And it was, but I felt so bad though, because I was taking somebody for their birthday and we were actually originally supposed to go to a Black-owned spot, but I misread it. I misread the situation. We should have waited the 20 minutes and then gotten our table and it was fine. At this other place, we got the table right away, but once you were sitting, that's when you were waiting. I said, what is this? This is trash.
It's a one thing or the other.
Yeah, and I was like, dang, I feel bad because like this is your birthday, and you didn't even get like the meal and the experience that I've been talking about.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right. So just going back to the blog this season, I know you're doing your thing. What you got anything upcoming? You know what's going on down the pike? Like, you got anything special planned?
So hey, just reached 1,000 followers.
Hey.
And we're coming up on our 1 year hours. Don't worry, I'm talking about the future team I'm gonna have. Don't worry about that. So with
speaking
that, I've been looking into who do I want to start partnering with and who do I want to leverage my reach with. Because one, I want to be a reliable source. So I want people to know, like, oh, if she vouched for it, then it must be good, or it must be nice, or like those types of things. And then expanding a little bit so that I'm starting to work with businesses, not just food things. So because of COVID, there's so many people doing so much online that doesn't limit our geographic location to benefiting. So like the brownies, she's in North Carolina. She's nowhere near us, but she delivers. So that's a Black-owned place that delivery. You know?
That oh gosh, I'm gonna go take a nap.
Yeah, and so I've like been trying out some like nail stuff that's from people. These T-shirts are from Autumn. Just different things that are able to get delivered. I'm starting to expand that and starting to work with people that I really like, that I think are great. And so just now my next one will be starting partnerships with people like y'all who are Black-owned, people who are just who understand how important it is that we get a space for our voice and that we get to amplify our voice. And people not only listen to us, but hear what we have been saying. Because I think that that's one of my big things about this whole movement this summer is like, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you. One, you are never allowed to call any person of color late ever again, because y'all are 400 years late, but welcome. Thank you for joining us. We've been here, been protesting, been fighting for our lives. You know what I'm saying? 1619, yeah, 400 plus years we've been doing this. But thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. Grab a sign. Take yourself to the front of the line. If you want to be a real ally, be the shield for the body, because you know they're gonna come for me. Like, there's so many layers and levels to this. Like, but thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Now help us get where we need to get. Move
And
out
know
of the
how to
way so
help.
they can hear my voice. Yeah, get out of the way so they can hear my voice. Let people know, open doors of opportunity for people who don't look like you to hear conversations, to be a part of those conversations. Ask questions in a safe way, depending on who it is, because I know people are tired of answering questions. I get it. People are tired of always being the black one, the black friend, the black whatever.
Can I touch your hair?
No. Long story short, no. And so just really partnering with the type of people, especially growing up in the Bay Area where it was super diverse, being in places and spaces where we can say like, hey, I understand that maybe I am your only black friend. This is okay. This is not okay. This is what we expect. This is what we as a people deserve because of what we have done. And we also are here and we also matter.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So that's good, man. Again, I commend everything you're doing.
Thank you.
And I'm enjoying,
absolutely.
I've been educated to so much, just with the blog in different places and stuff. Like, so it has helped me. And I say that to anyone listening, anyone watching, that it is a huge help. If you never thought about it before, like, it is. I've had fun
absolutely.
with it. I found some excellent places. I just had the most amazing brownie that you have to show. So like, give it a try. I mean, this is fun. I think it may be new for a lot of people. But check it out. Check out Just Season Well. I know for the sake of time, I'm going to cut some of the segments, so we'll get back to Karen next week. We'll do some of those things next week, just because. Yeah, we've done a lot. So I did, before you go, just tell the people, where can they find the blog?
Yeah, so I am solely on Instagram at Just Seasoned Well. So like solely on Instagram. And then I post a couple of things on my Twitter at Not That Grace. Yeah, that's it. Thank y'all so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me be here, share my little story, share my food love, Great.
Thank you for being here.
Eat and talk, as I love to do.
Yeah, me too. And good. Like, that's why I'm like, I'm full. I'm about to end the show. I'm good. I ain't got nothing to think about right now. I'm just thinking about brownie.
Think about the sandwich, man.
You know what I'm saying? Let's say, crush that food. Enjoy the rest of the day. We're doing this. This is actually recording on Labor Day, so appreciate.
Happy Labor Day.
Yeah, happy Labor Day to everyone.
Grateful to them.
Yep. Thanks, Grace.
Thank you.
Thank you so
y'all.
much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep. And on that note, y'all,
wear a mask, social distance.
Yeah.
Support Black lives.
Wash your damn hands.
Wash your hands.
Protect your mentals and your chicken.
And your chicken. Protect your chicken. Shout out to my man Sean.
Yes.
Town business. Town business.
On that note, y'all.
Peace.
Don't go nowhere, Grace. I'm going to end this real quick, but peace.